When we're bringing back a Megan Whiteside now on this, attorney and law professor at American University. Megan, thanks for staying with us. And I want to get your reaction to that TikTok video and Hannah Doba's piece. The quote from that, "If a house is not inhabited, we can seize it." Is that true?
Only partially. This is one of those circumstances where you can't believe everything you see on TikTok. This is referring to something called adverse possession. That's the legal standard for essentially taking over ownership rights of somebody else's property. But the law in every state, while it is different, there are some common themes. Yes, you have to take possession of someone's home without their permission. You do have to live there in an open and obvious way so that everyone else considers you to be the owner of the property. And you have to do this continuously for a long period of time. In most states, that's 10 to 20 years before you can take ownership. And in some states, you actually have to be paying property taxes on the residence. So simply squatting for a short period of time, and if you're doing so in a way that's hiding, that's simply not going to be enough. Unfortunately, information like this TikTok and other videos out there are leaving migrants with a very different impression.
Yeah, and tell me about that. Do you think that this TikTok is irresponsible in giving this advice to a vulnerable population, to undocumented migrants who perhaps don't have many resources in this country or places to go, giving them bad advice that could really lead to serious consequences?
I think we can have compassion for people who don't have a place to live, and this individual may not understand the actual legal standards for adverse possession. And I think that what property owners need to do, if you do have a property where no one is residing, it would behoove you to have a management company or somebody who's regularly checking on the property, and to have security cameras, and understand that if individuals start squatting at your property, you do have to take measures with the courts to make sure that they aren't able to stay there for that long continuous time period, so that they don't take adverse possession. But this is information that is really troubling. If individuals who are here in this country believe that they can just take up residence, this is really going to clog up our court system, with owners of properties having to go through the legal steps to get their property.
Yeah, certainly.
Back.
So if a property owner does recognize that they have a squatter in their place, what do they need to do right away? And is the law on their side generally, or is it a difficult battle for them?
So the law is on their side, but unfortunately there are steps that you have to take, and it can be time-consuming and resource-consuming. So the first thing a property owner is going to want to do is to alert the non-emergency line of your local police department and request that an officer accompany you to the property to notify the person that they cannot reside there. If they do not leave voluntarily when you announce that they can no longer reside in your property, at that point you do have to initiate a court proceeding. That's going to vary state by state, county by county, of what the requirements are in your jurisdiction, but you are going to have to file an unlawful detainer action to regain your property. Once a court issues an order, then law enforcement will likely go back with you to have the squatters leave.
Yeah, it is a process. Megan Whiteside, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.